how long Devin Booker is going to be out for. It's a mystery. Maybe we get Keith Morrison and Dateline on the case for us to figure out what's going on here. Now, I'm not that surprised that the Suns are keeping this mostly quiet. They played on Monday. He leaves the game Monday early. They give us a brief update after the game. No injury reports are going to come out here. Maybe we'll get one today. Definitely we'll start to hear more things tomorrow. And you don't want to give Houston a competitive advantage knowing multiple days ahead of time that Devin Booker's not going to be available. Same goes for anybody else on the Suns calendar here in the next couple of days. So I'm not overly surprised that we don't know, but I will say the not knowing is kind of confusing me on how to feel about this team right now. We mentioned it yesterday. Great win against the Lakers. You go into LA, a team that's been playing great all season, and you take care of business in spite of losing Devin Booker in that game. We said that makes this team kind of loser streak proof. They've done a great job of when they lose a game or two games, they make sure it doesn't turn into a serious slide outside of what happened at the beginning of the season. And I think you can very easily mark that one up to a lot of new faces, a brand new coach. The season had to settle a little bit, and the season has settled, and the Suns are doing a very nice job in the early part of the schedule. But now the wrench of Devin Booker's absence is thrown directly into the middle of this. And how long that absence is, I think, is going to vastly impact what this team can do. I think there's a big difference between this being a 2 or 3 game injury and it being a month-long injury, a 2-month-long injury. And again, here off the top, I think the Suns need to play the long-term game rather than the short-term game. And I know that NBA Cup matchup against Oklahoma City, everyone's got it circled on their calendar for next week. But you have to think bigger picture, because the Suns have put themselves, with the way they've played through the first 22 games this season, in a position that, let's face it, many didn't think they would be in. I don't even know if I, one of the more optimistic people about the Phoenix Suns this season, thought that they could be in. They have a chance to make the postseason. They have a chance to not just be in the play-in tournament, but to maybe snag that 6th seed and guarantee themselves some home playoff games. They certainly are going to be in the mix for the play-in tournament and should, with the way that they are playing right now, get into that play-in tournament. And that's where a Devin Booker injury can have a serious impact, because you're already down Jalen Green, and now you could be down Devin Booker. Producer Evan, if you don't mind pulling up the standings in the Western Conference right now, I want to use this as an exercise to say that without Devin Booker and Jalen Green, how much better are the Suns than those teams that are behind them? Remember, we earlier in the season said this team has cleared one bar. They are better than the bottom of the Western Conference. They have ascended into the middle class of the NBA. We didn't know where, we still don't know really where they sit in that NBA middle class, but we felt comfortable saying, hey, they're better than Utah. They're better than the Clippers. They're better than New Orleans. They're better than Dallas. We felt Sacramento. We felt very comfortable saying they are better than those basketball teams. And when you do that arithmetic, you very quickly get to a place where the Suns are one of the 10 best teams in the Western Conference. Well, now, if Devin Booker misses a couple of weeks, Devin Booker misses a month. We already know Jalen Green's not coming back probably for the remainder of this month. We have said that 2026 is probably when Jalen Green is back in the fold for this team. So if both of those guys miss time, give me the teams directly behind the Suns right now in the standings there, Producer Evan.
Directly behind the Suns is the 8th seed is Golden State. They're 11-11.
Okay, so what, 2-game difference between the Suns?
Currently 2 games back of the Suns, correct.
A Suns team without Devin Booker and Jalen Green might not be 2 games better than Golden State over that stretch.
A Memphis Grizzlies team as the 9th seed, currently 9-13, 4 games back of the Suns.
A 4-game difference. Now we're starting to reach that point where I think the Suns are still 4 games better than Memphis, even without those 2.
The 10 seed, a Portland Trailblazers team that is 4.5 games back of the Suns at 8-13.
And 4 back in the loss column.
The 11 and 12 seed, you have the Utah at 11, 5 games back of the Suns, 7-13, and Dallas 6 games back of the Suns at 7-15.
Injuries are the great equalizer. Injuries were a main reason why, even though they weren't playing well last season, the Suns had a chance to sneak into that final play-in spot because Dallas got so hurt after the trade deadline. So injuries are the great equalizer. And injuries are going to allow Golden State to think they can pass the Suns. It's probably going to make Memphis think that they can pass the Suns. It's probably going to make who else was in that tier right behind Golden State? It was Memphis and who else? I know Utah was a little further down. Dallas was a little further down. Portland is probably thinking to themselves, we're better than the Suns without Jalen Green and Devin Booker. And so that's why the length of this really matters. If this is a handful of games, less than half a dozen, I think the Suns will be fine. You start talking about him missing a month. You start talking about the Suns needing to play the remainder of this month. And here's who's on the schedule: Houston, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, wherever else they go in the NBA Cup, Golden State, the Lakers, 2 in New Orleans, Washington, and Cleveland. No Jalen Green, no Devin Booker. How many games on that schedule that I just ripped off between now and the end of 2025 do you feel good about? The 2 in New Orleans?
Yeah, I certainly feel good there.
The game against Washington?
Certainly feel good there.
That's probably where it stops. That's probably where the list ends. That's why this is so important, because it could derail everything that this team has done through the first 22 games of the season. I mean, we're past 1/4 of the way through the season. Suns have passed every test in a position we didn't think they were going to be in. The absence of Devin Booker, along with the current absence of Jalen Green, is going to determine whether or not they're going to waste this 13-9 start. They're going to be in a position where they have to push the snowball up the hill instead of right now. Doesn't it feel like when you watch the Phoenix Suns, everything's moving downhill for them? Everything feels relatively easy. Feel like they can just take advantage of the teams that they're supposed to beat. They're extremely competitive against the teams maybe a little bit better than them, and they have kind of wedged themselves right in the middle of things here in the Western Conference. You want them to retain that position. Losing Devin Booker, and I know he's had a bad stretch here. This is crucial. This is huge. See, there's a massive difference. 3-4 games Booker misses, we cast it aside as something that always happens over the course of a regular season. You start talking about weeks instead of days. Do you remember when, I think it was at the beginning of the year, the Diamondback season, Ketel Marte was going to miss, what was it, a number of series? We had some fun with that here on the program.
What was it?
It was a number of series, I believe is the way Torey Lovello described it. We said, what does that mean? Is it 2? Is it 5? There's a big difference between those two numbers. There's a
No, it was a series of weeks.
Oh, a series of weeks. Yes, thank you for the correction. What is a series of weeks? Is it 2 weeks? Is it a month? Is it 6 weeks? There's a difference between missing, 4 series and missing 12 or 14 because you miss a month and a half. There's a big difference between Devin Booker missing this weekend's contest against Houston and Minnesota and being back in there against Oklahoma City, or missing this entire month. Completely changes the outlook, the direction, the complexion of this team. And that's why we sit here today. Team didn't play last night. They're the lead story because we're all waiting. Because if we can breathe the sigh of relief, if it's not a massive amount of missed time with this groin injury, then I think full steam ahead, you're still talking about this team as a top play-in contender, has a shot for that 6 seed, has a shot to avoid the chaos that is the play-in tournament. It's full systems go. Full speed ahead. If he has to miss a couple of weeks, if he has to miss a month, if they are saying, hey, we're not going to reevaluate this for 3 or 4 weeks, now my concern level goes up. My concern level right now is probably at a 3 or a 4, and that's mainly because we haven't heard a peep. My concern level, if he's missing a series of weeks, goes to like a 6 or a 7, maybe even an 8, because I don't know how this team functions without Devin Booker and also without Jalen Green. It's going to require Dylan Brooks to step up. It's going to require Colin Gillespie to step up. It's going to require Grayson Allen and Ryan Dunn to step up. And we just haven't seen that version of this team yet, so we don't know. Now, with the 22-game sample size that I've seen of Jordan Ott's Phoenix Suns, it would be foolish of me to completely dismiss them. It would be foolish of me to doubt them because they have, I think, proven a lot of their doubters wrong here in the early stages. But at some point, it becomes too much of a mountain to climb. And this starts to feel like too big of a mountain. So I feel like, is anybody else doing this? Is anybody else every couple of minutes doing a Twitter search for Devin Booker over the last 24 hours? I know that's what I've been doing.
Every couple hours or so, I refresh Twitter and just Devin Booker. Yeah. Just to see what's going on.
I can hear you. I hear you right now through your microphone typing away just to see if anything's happened, because it's just so important. Now, I'm not telling you anything revolutionary. We all understand how important Devin Booker is to the Phoenix Suns. This is his team again. But when you have such a good start and you've built yourself a little bit of a cushion, you can survive being without Devin Booker for a week. I don't think you can survive being without Devin Booker for a month. I don't think you've built enough of a cushion to survive that. What did your typing away get you?
Nothing.
Of course.
Absolutely nothing.
Of course not. When's the next time that the team meets with the media and we get an injury report? That'll probably be the first time we get an update on this. They don't play till Friday.
I was going to say, why update the league if I don't have to yet?
No, of course. I understand it from their perspective. I'm just talking from mine and what I feel is many of the listeners' perspective of. They want to know how long he's going to be out for because it is going to directly impact their mood on this team.
From running a radio show and being a fan perspective?
I'd like to know.
I want to know. I understand why they don't want to tell people. I would like to know.
I want to know because there are so many branches off of that tree. He misses a couple of games. We're going to come in here and tell you, that's fine.
Can they possibly win a NBA Cup game without him?
See, that's a great conversation for us to have if we know he's missing that game. I don't want to do that because
he could play.
He could play. We just don't know. He might miss this weekend and be back next week. He's had this injury 2 times previously. He missed 5 games last year. He missed 20 games 2 years ago. So that's the range. That's the scale. Now, I'm being accused over on the YouTube side of things of being dramatic about this. I'm sorry. Star players missing time for a basketball team that's 13-9 and having a much better than anticipated start to the season, I think is pretty important. The person, Paul, over on YouTube, probably not a fan of Devin Booker, would be my guess. That's the leap I'm willing to make. That
yes.
If the criticism is that I'm being dramatic about Devin Booker missing time, probably not the biggest Devin Booker fan out there. Would be my guess. Would be my hunch. If I had to throw a dart at the dartboard. This is important. This is massive. I don't want to hear that they looked better without him. This engine doesn't go without him. This engine doesn't work. This team doesn't reach the heights that they can reach this season if he misses time. So that's why it's important that we are here on a Wednesday not knowing his status. Wasn't great that he left the game. Wasn't great that we haven't really had much of an update. The people that are normally in the know aren't really hinting one way or another. So it's just something we have to monitor here over the next couple of days. Again, they don't play today, don't play tomorrow. They don't play next until Friday at Houston. Then they play on Monday at Minnesota. And then it's a game early next week against Oklahoma City. The quarterfinals of the NBA Cup in Oklahoma City, a rematch of when these two teams met on Friday. So to me, this is the biggest story right now, I think, in the Valley is the status of Devin Booker and how long, if he is going to miss time, it will be for the Phoenix Suns, especially with how great of a start they've had this season. It feels like a pause to the momentum that they've built, right? I wouldn't say a full stop. It is a pause to this momentum.
Yeah, it's just, and because they don't play for a full week,
yeah,
we're not going to get any, updates on it. And that's just, you're kind of treading lightly now.
You're treading water. You're treading lightly. You're paused. You're just sitting around waiting for the update. It's just a terrible place to be. It's like when a pitcher leaves with forearm soreness. You're like,
it's funny you said that.
A couple of hours afterwards, you're like, please.
I was just about to compare it to the 3-day limbo we had with Corbin Burns.
Right, where you don't know, they're getting a second opinion. Now, we haven't had that level of noise or news about this, but you're stuck in, do I have my ace or is the season over, right? And yes, it is dramatic that those are the two ends of the spectrum, but when you have all of this time in between, the mind wanders. And I'm not surprised that the mind wanders to worrying about what the rest of the season might look like. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us over on the YouTube channel, KDUS AM 1060, where you can watch the program as well. When we come back, it's easy to say that the Cardinals need to make a change. It's harder to suggest a replacement. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time Tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN, but according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Bad Omens. Do you feel love? North American Tour 2026. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1garage.com. A1 from day one.
This holiday season, elevate your event at Talking Stick Resort. From breathtaking views and a world-class golf course to 113,000 square feet of flexible event space, every detail sets the stage for an unforgettable holiday party. Whether it's cocktails under the stars or a fully produced banquet with state-of-the-art AV, Talking Stick has it all. Plus a luxurious spa for next-day recovery. Secure your celebration today. Talking Stick Resort, Scottsdale's premier destination for celebration. Life well played.
Jerome here with your Rome Report. So we learned a few things from the Patriots punching the Giants in the face last night. Number one, I don't care that it was only the Giants or how easy their schedule is. The Patriots are a legit Super Bowl contender right now, period. Meanwhile, the Giants still don't get it. First-round draft pick Abdul Carter was benched for the entire first quarter. When asked why, he said, quote, bleep happens. What other player in the league, much less the third pick overall, has been benched twice in the last 3 weeks? Wrong answer, Abdul. It's like asking if you could have LT's number when you arrived was the wrong question. And memo to Giants quarterback Jackson Dart. We know you've got that dog in you, but like it or not, you've got to learn to get out of bounds and get down because availability is still your best ability. Josh Allen learned it, my dude. You can too. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. The holiday season is always more jolly with Prize Picks. Every sport, every play, every stat matters just a little more. On Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less, and watch your lineups light up like the holidays. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old, Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan gene, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
It is easy to be a sports talk radio host and have the opinion, have the take that at 3-9, the Arizona Cardinals need to make a change at head coach. It's easy. It's easy to tweet that the Cardinals need to make a change at head coach. The harder part is to finish the sentence. Get rid of Jonathan Gannon and hire who? Who will be his replacement? Who should be his replacement? You have to make the argument, the case, that the person that you're bringing in is better than what Jonathan Gannon has provided. Now, over the 3-year sample, I would argue that that's not a very high bar to clear. I think it's 15 wins in 3 seasons for Jonathan Gannon. It's going to be a 3rd consecutive year of this team not making the postseason. Really the first year in which they had the expectations to do so. So I don't think it's a high bar to clear to find somebody that is better, but you still need to answer the question. Well, the SB Nation site Revenge of the Birds attempted to answer that question. Barry Shuck wrote a story, Coaching Candidates to Replace Cardinals Jonathan Gannon. And I want to talk about these names because it lets you in on a little secret. I don't really love this list. This list doesn't have that great of a group of names on it. They start with the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers, Jesse Minter, who is overseeing an excellent defense. They're 2nd in pass defense, 12th in run defense. Worked in Baltimore, Jesse Minter did. How about Joe Brady, offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills? Tell me somebody who's going to get more head coaching interviews this offseason than Joe Brady. Worked with Josh Allen. Bills offense is great. How many teams are going to want to bring in an offensive-minded head coach next season? I mean, first team I could think of that's going to be all over Joe Brady in the interview process is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Just drafted Cam Ward number 1 overall. Got rid of Brian Callahan, looking for a replacement. I mean, going to be a top name. Cincinnati, if they move on from Zach Taylor at the end of the season. You give Joe Burrow his former college coordinator and Joe Brady. You let the two Joes work together again. Who else is going to be out there looking for a head coach? Perhaps the Arizona Cardinals will be. Perhaps the Las Vegas Raiders will be. The Giants certainly would. How about pairing Jackson Dart with Joe Brady? I mean, this is going to be one of the top names who's basically going to be able to pick from all of the jobs if he wants one. Jim Bob Cooter, the offensive coordinator over there in Indianapolis, somebody who's been thrown out there in previous cycles, but is seeing kind of a career rejuvenation with what he's doing with Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, all of a sudden, kind of unlocking the next level of his game. Of course, teams are going to look at that coaching staff. The same way that the moment the Detroit Lions found success, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, everybody wanted to get their hands on somebody off of that coaching tree. Same thing with Sean McVay, right? Anybody that works under Sean McVay on the offensive side of the ball, teams want to interview. Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator over there in Cleveland. And that's it. That's the end of the list. So I get why these names are on the list. But Jim Schwartz, former NFL head coach, coached the Lions from 2009 to 2013. 1 playoff appearance in that stretch.
You also have the no win season.
Was that him or Caldwell?
I thought it was Jim Schwartz.
I don't remember. That entire era of Lions football to me is kind of a blur because they weren't good for that long. Was it Caldwell or was it Schwartz? It may be Schwartz. You may be right. I just want us to confirm. Because he was there for 4 seasons, and it other than the playoff year, it was not a good run either way, whether or not he has that on his ledger or not. It was not a good run for him.
No. Sorry. It was the year before. So that was Caldwell.
So it was Caldwell.
Yeah, so it was 2-14, 6-10, 10-6, 4-12, 7-9.
So Caldwell goes winless. They get rid of him. They go to Schwartz. He wins 10 games his first 2 seasons, right? And then he wins 10 games, makes the playoffs, then has 2 bad years after that, gets canned.
Isn't it interesting? But this is exactly what we wanted from Jonathan Gannon. You hired Jim Schwartz, you're 2-14, you were 0-16 last year. 2-14, you get your guys in the building. We're 6-10. I see the step.
And then
now I'm 10-6 and in a playoff game.
Right. Right. I mean, what Jim Schwartz did in Detroit is exactly what you wanted Jonathan Gannon to do. But now you have to evaluate, can Jim Schwartz, all this time later, be a successful head coach? He's a great defensive coordinator. Cleveland's third in pass defense, 10th against the run. They've allowed the third fewest rushing touchdowns. It helps when you have somebody like Myles Garrett, granted. But he has a resume. He's been a former head coach before, and that might be valuable. Michael Bidwell might believe that this team needs somebody with head coaching experience. Again, assuming that they make this determination. And that's what makes this such a risky decision for the Cardinals to make in the offseason. Because while I don't think Jonathan Gannon is got a resume that deserves staying, my argument for making a change is less about the results and more about, do you trust this current regime to pick the quarterback?
And that's the bigger thing is you're going to go into a defensive-minded organization at the current time, draft and develop the next quarterback of this organization? That's what you want?
I don't mind hiring a defensive-minded head coach. It comes with one major caveat, though.
You have to be great. Vrabel is a defensive-minded head coach, right? The problem is he's a top 6 coach in football.
Well, fair, but to me, you want to hire Jesse Minter? You can hire Jesse Minter. You want to hire Shula, Chris Shula? You want to hire him? You can hire him. Your offensive coordinator has to be somebody with a resume of experience that is unimpeachable.
I think that's a good point too. I think if you hire a defensive head coach,
you need a former head coach, offensive mastermind. You know who you need? You need Doug Peterson to be your offensive coordinator.
That's a great point. You can do it that way, or you can do it the way, which is you can hire a defensive head coach if he has previous head coach experience.
Sure.
Like, go back to Mike Vrabel. He's been a head coach in this league. He's seen young quarterbacks, right? He had some success with Tannehill, which was the biggest success of his career. You can see the pathways to, hey, Vrabel-led teams have had success with quarterbacks. Jim Schwartz got there and has had success with Matthew Stafford and the development process of Matthew Stafford, because that's early in his career.
I'll tell you this right now, because this is starting to become a talking point. Now, it's normally a talking point at the end of the year anyway. Feels like we're starting it a little earlier this year. There are talks of Mike Tomlin not sticking around in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin becomes available, not known for being an offensive guy. I'm making the phone call.
I would think about it.
I'm thinking about it. I'm considering it because of the track record, because of the resume. So this goes to something we mentioned yesterday, and I think is a very important point. You can hire another defensive coordinator. You do not have to play this game of seesaw where, we hired a defensive coordinator last time. It has to be an offensive guy this time because we're taking a quarterback, because we need the offense to transform. You can hire a defensive-minded guy. You need to hire the best CEO type for the job. You just then require a home run offensive coordinator. You got to knock it out of the park. You can't hit a double. It's got to be a home run. Got to crush it. It's got to be a Doug Peterson. I don't know if he would be classified as a home run, but Brian Dable is going to be out there looking for a job.
Frank Reich
is going to be looking for a job, right? Those types of guys being your offensive coordinator, former head coaches, great on that side of the ball. I'm in on that. That I can wrap my head around, you going with the defensive-minded guy. You need to pick the person that you think is best. Now, let me tell you the dirty little secret here. They're not making a change. Unless they lose out, I don't even think they're going to entertain making a change. I don't think there's a world where a change gets made unless they lose out, with just the way everybody's talking. Now, I think it should be a consideration. I think we should be looking at lists like this. They're 3-9. They've lost 9 of 10. I can't find a win on their schedule the rest of the way. Maybe that game against Atlanta. I feel like we're going to be talking about a 4-win football team when we're done here. So to me, I want to have the conversation. I want to evaluate Jonathan Gannon. I will tell you this list. Jesse Minter, first-year head coach, right? Joe Brady, first-year head coach. Jim Bob Cooter would be a first-year head coach. Jim Schwartz, the only guy with experience. And I don't know if I'm leaning towards somebody with experience, but I think I would want somebody who has he's got the credentials.
I can't believe I'll tell you, there's a name on my list.
And so this is what we're doing today. Our top 5 list today is our top 5 candidates to if a change gets made, who we would want in the chair.
That hasn't even come up.
I know who your number 1 is because you've said it to me off the air.
Have I?
Same initials.
As who?
Same initials as the current coach.
No.
He's on your list.
He's on my list, but he's not number one.
Okay. You love him as a candidate here.
I do. Yeah.
You think it would be a home run.
I do.
So it's going to be number 2 on your list. Maybe number 3. It's going to make the top 3 for sure. So we got that list coming for you in hour number 2 of the program. You have to answer the sentence. You have to complete the sentence. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to move on from Jonathan Gannon. Who do I want to hire? The answer can't just be, anybody's better. That's not always the case. That's not always true, because you are not watching a team where the coach has lost control of the locker room. You're not watching a team that's not playing hard for their coach. Then I think it can be anybody. You have a coach who's doing some things well. They're not putting the pieces all together, which is leading to these fourth quarter debacles. But they're doing some things well. The defense, outside of those 2 games where they gave up 40, has been good. Josh Sweat is having a career year here with Jonathan Gannon. Walter Nolan, we're going to talk about him today, having a great rookie campaign. Calais Campbell, still putting up numbers here, this stage of his career. I mean, there's good things. They finally found a way to get Michael Wilson involved. There are good things. Trey McBride, the development under Gannon and this offensive coaching staff. There are good things that are happening. So you have to be very careful. Fire Jonathan Gannon. Okay, hire who? Who is going to be the replacement? Give me names. Throw out names. We are going to do that. We are going to complete the sentence here today on the program in hour number 2. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to get involved here today. Share your list if you want at some point throughout the course of the program. When we come back, wouldn't be a baseball topic if we weren't talking about trading Ketel Marte, right? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Only 50% of Arizonans believe their health insurance will cover them in a major medical emergency, like a car accident or an unexpected life-changing diagnosis. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona aims to change that perception. AZ Blue often takes care of more than 99% of hospital charges in major emergencies, protecting you and your family from devastating financial consequences. To learn more about how AZ Blue protects its members, head to azblue.com/true story.
All the planning, work, and preparation for the holidays. Why do we do it? In the blur of life, we can take our blessings for granted, distracted by the noise and our own interests. We gather to slow down and reflect on what truly matters, time with loved ones, and cherishing simple moments. We gather to choose gratitude. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from all of us at Shield.
Empty slogans and cute jingles. Lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers, it's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
ASU women's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lady Sun Devils as they look to defend Mullet Arena against McNeese State. With Coach Molly Miller at the helm, the Lady Sun Devils have come alive this season. Join Jeff Bunn on the call live this Friday night. It's ASU versus McNeese State. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUS1060.com, and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I gotta say, trying to put together this list for hour number 2, I got a lot of names. I have more than the normal 8 names that we have on the 3 HMs and the top 5. I have like 42 HMs right now. That's how many names I'm considering for my top 5 list. Our replacements. Now they have to be realistic. You can't say, "Oh, I want John Harbaugh," right? Okay, he's not getting fired by Baltimore, right? Mike Tomlin, for the time being, is not a realistic option. So you have to, you want to take a college coach on your list? Fine. You want to take a coordinator? Fine. You can't say, "I want Andy Reid." That's not the spirit of what we're doing here. It's got to be more realistic. Now, want to talk
about college coaches that have recently taken a different job?
That's going to be a tough sell. I'll give you the floor to try to sell me on it in hour number 2. I don't think I'm going to say okay to that. But if you want to give it a shot, you want to tell me why James Franklin should be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals?
No, the name I was
go right ahead. You want to convince me that that's the case? You do that in hour number 2 of the program. Now, producer Evan, this is a story that you put on my radar this morning. Because it wouldn't be a Diamondbacks baseball conversation without discussing Ketel Marte leaving, because that feels like the only thing we do when talking about the Diamondbacks this offseason.
I was going to say, it's nice that the Diamondbacks are at least actively, quote, listening to trades about Ketel Marte, because it does fill a segment a day.
Oh, for sure.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, we can always go to this well, but you shared a story that threw out some trade possibilities. And, of course, if we're talking about offseason MLB trades, Ketel Marte's name comes up, and they threw out 2 potential scenarios. One was Seattle, but they didn't really give specifics. They just said, trade him to Seattle. It was the second trade that was interesting to me, because it's an interesting name coming back, because it's another name that's being thrown out there in the trade market. And I hadn't given it a ton of thought until I saw it in the story today.
It makes sense when you look at it, but it's Boston Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran. Duran's a guy who's played some center, but has mostly played corner outfield. A lefty bat in this lineup that would add another layer of how they want to play. And what I mean by that is, this is a guy who puts the ball in play and he runs. And he's going to play great defense. He's going to steal bases, and he's going to fit the mold of this team. Now, Jarren Duran alone wouldn't get it done. You would need more added on to it. But the Red Sox, just in all seriousness, have a surplus of outfielders, and one of them is the odd man out.
And Duran has been rumored for a while now. Duran's name came up at the trade deadline last year as a potential name. So it's not surprising that his name is coming up again. And they have Rafaela, they have Abreu, they have Christian Campbell, they have a lot of young players that they are trying to find spots for. They also have Roman Anthony, right? So they have all of these options. And so in this deal, they would have the Diamondbacks trading Ketel Marte to the Red Sox for Jarren Duran and Kyson Witherspoon. Now, what this would do, it would give them Jarren Duran to go into that corner outfield spot. And so then you're looking at an outfield that's probably what? Jarren Duran, Blaze Alexander, Corbin Carroll. I mean, that's one of the most athletic outfields in baseball.
You're going to get to everything.
We're covering a lot of ground out there. There's a lot of athleticism out in the outfield if it's those 3 guys. And maybe you think Blaze is more comfortable in left and you want to put Duran in center. Either way, those 3 provide you some really high floor defenders with some athleticism, and they can cover ground. That's huge. It does create a hole at second base. And right now, I saw a tweet, and I'm sorry that I can't give credit where credit is due, but it showed what the potential lineup would be right now for the Diamondbacks. And it had Ketel Marte in there, and it had Geraldo Perdomo in there, and it had Corbin Carroll and Gabby Moreno. And then after that, it had Blaze in left field. It had Jordan Lawler at third base. It had Adrian Del Castillo at DH. It had Pavin Smith at first base. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'd want to upgrade there. I'd want to upgrade there. A lot of upgrading that I'd like them to do. So,
just the names you're reading, you can be, gosh, I don't think they have it at DH, but I don't think they have the long-term answer.
It does give me pause to trade Ketel Marte to have Jarren Duran in left field and then say, hey, who's going to play second base? Although there is Tommy Troy. Now, I will say this. May I put on the Galaxy brain cap for just a second? Can we get a little crazy here on the program?
Permission? We can get very crazy.
If you trade for Jarren Duran and you have an outfield of Jarren Duran, Blaze Alexander, Corbin Carroll in some configuration, can you trade Ryan Waldschmidt for a top flight starter?
I think you can.
Can you dangle him in front of the Cincinnati Reds for Hunter Green? Can you dangle him in front of the Nationals for Mackenzie Gore? Can you dangle him in front of the Miami Marlins for Edward Cabrera? Can you use him as a centerpiece of a trade then if you swing this? It feels like if they traded Ketel Marte, more would have to happen. And one of those things is, well, I don't have a spot for this kid. He could be the DH. I don't have a spot for this kid. This is my ticket to getting a pitcher, because Bob Nightingale is reporting that they're listening on Ketel Marte, and the thing that they are asking for the most is pitching. So this Jarren Duran trade, while it may make sense on paper, isn't necessarily what the team is asking for right now. They are looking for pitchers, but I don't know if Boston can provide you what you're looking for.
Does the mindset shift if you are able to get pitchers in a different deal? Like if you get a deal from Boston that you think includes Jarren Duran and maybe a few other pieces that you feel like you can't turn down, and then you get a deal that includes Waldschmidt where, hey, we can go get Mackenzie Gore. I think they're probably short on getting Hunter Green, but Mackenzie Gore, Edward Cabrera, they feel like they could play in that range. If that deal happens, does it make you more likely to come back and say, hey, what about that offer Boston had on the table?
It's almost, you have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of things this offseason concurrently. There's got to be a lot of irons in the fire at the same time, because you have to do so much to this roster that I think you have to be saying, okay, if we do this move, can we make this move happen? I'm not going to say yes to this move until I talk to this team about that move. And it becomes the meme I reference all the time. You're Charlie Day and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The board behind you has got dots connected everywhere. There's a lot of moving parts to this offseason for the Diamondbacks. And so I'm starting to become more comfortable with the idea of trading Ketel Marte if it is part of a larger offseason that would see them land a Jarren Duran, would see them land somebody like a Hunter Green or a Mackenzie Gore or an Edward Cabrera, maybe even a Freddie Peralta if you want to take a swing on a one-year rental. If those are the moves that happen because we move Ketel Marte, because the team decides that that's the direction they want to go in, I can start to get on board on this. You got to be very Jerry DiPoto-like in Seattle. AJ Preller, we got to be just making wholesale changes. It's got to be like a hockey line change with the amount of moves that you're making. It can't just be, we're going to trade Ketel Marte for Jarren Duran and Kyson Witherspoon, who, by the way, is the number 15 pick from last year's draft and is a pitching prospect, but not somebody that's going to contribute over the next couple of years for the Diamondbacks. You don't make that move and say, okay, we'll roll with the group. And that's not enough for me. If you're going to trade Ketel Marte, it has to be part of a seismic offseason where you are changing a lot. It can't just be, we're going to do this to get, one player or one pitcher and then nothing else happens. There's got to be a lot to it to me if you're going to do this. Because if you're going to rip this Band-Aid off, it needs to be a part of a larger project, a larger picture.
You need to fill multiple holes. I mean, that lineup has 2 to 3 holes that we went through. And obviously you're creating another one by moving Ketel Marte. But if you could trade 2 to 3, filling 2 to 3 of those holes for one, I think just in the position you're in, you have to do it.
Shout out to the Twitter account is just Connor. I don't know how. Shout out to Connor for getting that Twitter handle. He tweeted a graphic that had the Diamondbacks projected lineup. It had Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, Moreno, 1 through 4. The bottom half of the lineup, Pavin Smith at first, Blaze Alexander in left, Adrian Del Castillo is the DH, Jordan Lawler as the third baseman, Alec Thomas is the center fielder. From Blaze down, everybody had a WRC plus last year of under 100, which is league average. Blaze ended up with a 99. Now, I like Blaze, and I think he should play, but a lot of question marks, and Pavin Smith was a 123 WRC plus, but he's not going to be able to play against lefties. And they have the bench at James McCann, Tim Tawa, Jorge Barosa, and Jake McCarthy. Like, the bottom half of this lineup and the bench needs to be upgraded. Like, that's what you have to do. Oh, and by the way, you have to get 2 starters, and you have to add a reliever, at least 1. Like, that's what has to try to be accomplished this offseason. It's a lot. It's a heavy lift.
It's a heavy lift.
And Ketel Marte might be the way you make that lift a little lighter. It may help you land this plane. And instead of having a top-heavy lineup, you can trade Ketel Marte, who had a 145 WRC plus and was your best player last year. You then turn him into solving 3 or 4 holes, perhaps. So this is not going to go away. I will continue to remind everybody, this will not go away. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, we wrap up hour number 1 of the program with a little buy or sell. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
NAU men's basketball over on KAZG 1440. Join the Lumberjacks as they play host to South Dakota State this Wednesday night. Under the direction of Coach Shane Burkhardt, the Lumberjacks have shown strength and resilience on the court. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live from the Roll Activity Center. It's NAU versus South Dakota State this Wednesday. Pregame at 5:30 and tip-off at 6 p.m. over on KAZG 1440.
Sticks. The Hit. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
This winter, step into a world of wonder at the Tianyu Lights Festival, open now through January 4th at Camelback Ranch, Glendale, and Phoenix. Explore the 4 new themes: Bugs Aglow, Colors of Holidays, Rainforest, and Prehistoric Animals, which feature 70 glowing handcrafted lanterns. Enjoy delicious foods and beverages at our food court, explore the interactive lanterns, and complete your visit with a trip to the marketplace where you'll find unique souvenirs. Don't miss this unforgettable holiday experience. Tickets are available now.
Did you know that Harrah's Auction Casino is your key to nationwide fun? That's right. You'll unlock perks at more than 50 destinations from coast to coast at your local home for Caesars Rewards. Free dining in Atlantic City? Yes. Free slot play in Maricopa? You bet. Free hotel stays in New Orleans? Oh, yeah. What are you waiting for? Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Rewards Center for details.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up hour number 1 of the program. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the show. It's time for a little buy or sell. We say the hottest sports take in the Valley, they come from right here. They come from this segment of the program. Hottest takes in the Valley. Hottest sports takes you're going to hear today in this segment. With that being said, the person who is the master of the takes, producer Evan.
The D-backs will need to fill at least 2 holes on their team for Ketel Marte to be worth trading.
Meaning that what they get back in the deal solves two problems?
Yeah, 2 starters, including, a starting pitcher and a starting.
I like this a lot. I will buy this. And maybe it's not necessarily in the specific trade, although I think ideally the Diamondbacks would tell you that they would like to get one of their 2 starters and maybe a first baseman as a part of any of these deals to fill those 2 holes. Now, remember, I don't think you're making a trade of Ketel Marte to a team that's going to give you back a second baseman, so you're going to then create another problem. You are going to have to find somebody to play second base. Now, maybe that can be, perhaps, Jordan Lawler could go play some second base. I know he's playing a lot of center field where he was in the Winter League, so he's showing off his versatility. But yes, I think for Mike Hazen and the Diamondbacks to submit the paperwork to the league office, to want to make a trade, they're going to have to feel like they are just so overwhelmed by the return that it addresses so many of their problems, or at least a number of their problems, that it justifies giving up perhaps the best second baseman in the sport.
100%. 100%. They're going to have to – the best second baseman on what we found to be one of the best contracts in all of baseball.
Yes.
Right? So you have to factor in both of those things. And there's going to be – every team in the league is probably going to give a call and just see what it takes.
Can I sidebar us for a second?
Of course.
I had somebody who works in the draft space, like covers the NFL draft and puts reports. They DM'd me during the last break, and they asked about Jordan Tyson because they know.
Yeah.
I had a very glowing review of Jordan Tyson. I will not share the comp that I gave.
You want to hear my comp?
No, okay. I'm going to do it because you know what? I want to.
I think we have the same player because is yours good? Your player's very good.
No, my player's excellent.
Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Watching Jordan Tyson, he reminds me so much of LSU Justin Jefferson.
He really does.
I mean, he reminds me so much of what that version of Justin Jefferson looks like. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be Justin Jefferson at the next level.
No.
Although I think he can be. My comp is LSU Justin Jefferson.
The
route running.
I was going to say they're so smooth in and out of the breaks.
The spacing. Yeah. It's incredible.
The college football playoff will expand to 16 teams next year.
Great. Sure. Committee's still going to get it wrong. They're still going to screw it up.
I got to tell you.
You could let everybody in. They'll find a way to screw it up.
I got to tell you, this head-to-head, it just means nothing now. Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. And it's not like they have an extra loss. They have the same record. And they beat Notre Dame, and it does not matter anymore.
I mean, I'm speechless because I've been trying to tell everybody that the College Football Playoff Committee, they're bad at their jobs. We made it easier. Automatic qualifiers, 12 teams. They still find a way to screw it up. Although, did you see what they did?
But the automatic qualifier, yes.
Did you see what they did?
They did the old put JMU at 25.
They just said, stick them in there so we have the out if Duke wins the ACC.
That there will be no ACC team in.
If Duke wins, I think you're absolutely 100% right.
Because, well, it's going to be interesting. There's a chance Miami could still get in. Because if Alabama loses to Georgia big.
So ACC title game, Virginia Duke?
It's Virginia Duke, yes.
So Miami, not participating.
Miami's not in it, no. Okay. So you would imagine they're at where they're at.
Notre Dame, they're not playing this weekend, right?
They are not, no.
So the College Football Playoff Committee better not change where those two teams are. You've locked in Miami in front of Notre Dame. Or Notre Dame in front of Miami. How is it set up?
So right now, it is currently Notre Dame at 10, BYU at 11, Miami at 12. So 10 is the cutoff. Okay. So Notre Dame's the last team in because of the 2 at large.
I understand that.
Or the 2.
11 is BYU. They're playing in a conference championship.
Yes.
You are not allowed to put Miami in front of Notre Dame in the final ranking.
No.
You can't do it.
So the only way Miami could get in is if Alabama gets crushed and BYU gets crushed. And then you would say, well, Alabama's not better than Miami. BYU's not better than Miami. And you would move Notre Dame to 9, Miami to 10.
You and I are speaking 2 different languages here. I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying the committee better not
flip Notre Dame. Yes.
On Sunday.
You can't.
Nothing's changed from Tuesday to Sunday.
You can't do it. Also, Ole Miss went up a spot.
What? because they play in a conference that has 3 letters that apparently you're not allowed to say anything bad about
So
the conference.
Ole Miss
ever.
went from 7 to 6 because A&M lost
Their head coach
and fell to
moved
7.
up in the rankings. Florida State lost their quarterback out of the college football playoff. I need somebody that apparently has a higher IQ than I do to explain this to me.
The Fiesta Bowl is the semifinal this year. We should go.
I'll only go if James Madison makes a run. How about that? Can we get them on that side of the bracket?
What if North Texas goes?
Fine.
Yes.
Any of the mid-majors, we can try to make that happen. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Colin Gillespie's had a great start to this season. What's the best role for him? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Feed a family, make a kid happy.
We're proud to support the 25th annual Operation Santa Claus. You can help make the holidays brighter for families in need by donating non-perishable food, new toys, or children's clothing at Sanderson Ford, Sanderson, Lincoln, ABC 15, or select U-Haul locations. All donations benefit local charities. Visit givetotheclaus.com for drop-off locations and details.
Sanderson, Ford, Lincoln, and ABC 15.
The other day, I couldn't find my belt, and my wife found my belt, and as she brought it to me, she said, "Where would you be without me?" And I wanted to say, "Exactly here without the belt." In fact, I would have the belt because I would know exactly where it was in yesterday's pants on the floor. But now, we're not allowed to leave yesterday's pants on the floor, so I need a National Treasure-style map to find my one lousy belt.
Seth Meyers, live on stage. Saturday, March 14th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
Hi, I'm Dave Hastings. A lot of people don't realize how our fee works at Hastings & Hastings, and it's one of the biggest advantages we offer. When you hire Hastings & Hastings, you pay nothing upfront, nothing at all. We front every expense it takes to fight your case, and you don't owe us a dime unless we win. And when your case does settle, our discount fee means more money stays where it belongs, with you. In fact, in a recent $15 million settlement, our discount fee put over $1 million additional dollars in our client's pocket. That's money other attorneys would have taken for themselves. That's the difference when you choose an experienced Arizona law firm that believes in fairness, transparency, and real results for clients. That's Hastings & Hastings. No fee unless you win. And when you do, our discount fee means more money for you.
Think of all the money you're wasting if you don't call Hastings & Hastings.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Hi, I'm Aaron, founder of Custom Deluxe Windows, wishing everyone a wonderful holiday season and an extra special thank you to the brave men and women in our military. If you need new windows or doors, call Custom Deluxe Windows today.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the program. Suns back in action Friday night in Houston. A little road trip for the Phoenix Suns. At Houston, at Minnesota, at Oklahoma City. The next 3 games on the docket for them. We are still waiting news on the status of Devin Booker going into this stretch. I'm sure we'll learn more as the week progresses. But as I mentioned at the top of the program, this 2-day lull for us kind of gives us an opportunity to take a step back and look at everything from a big picture rest of season view. And I think this might be an interesting top 5 list for when we get to the midpoint of the season, producer Evan. But one of the top storylines, I would say, so far of the first 22 games has been the emergence of Colin Gillespie as a serious player for this basketball team. Leading the second unit, has found his way into the starting lineup, is justifying everybody who shouted from the rooftops last year that he be thrusted into serious action when this team was just a complete mess and they needed something. They needed some type of energy. People like myself said, get Colin Gillespie involved. Is he going to solve all your problems? No, but you need energy. You need effort level. Colin Gillespie is going to provide that for you. I remember the game that they played. It was, I believe, a road game. I forget the month, but it was against Denver, where he just played out of his mind, providing energy to this basketball team. And he's doing more of the same this year. He's been taken under the wing of Dylan Brooks. He is Villain Jr. on this basketball team. It's his nickname given to him by the chief villain, Dylan Brooks. And Colin Gillespie has put up some incredible numbers. And with Jalen Green out, and now with Devin Booker potentially in and out of the lineup here over the next couple of days, there have been a lot of questions. I saw a good friend of the program, Ben Garcia, host of the Locked On Suns podcast, mention this. Seen a bunch of people in Suns Twitter mentioning this over the last couple of days. Figured, hey, this is what we do on this program. Let's jump in. Let's get involved in this fray. What is the best role for Colin Gillespie? Is he better being that leader of the second unit coming off the bench? Or is he better being thrusted into a starting lineup to move Devin Booker away from being the point guard, away from being the distributor? He can just create his shot, get his shot, knock down his shot, and Colin Gillespie can focus on those things. Well, I like looking at the data. I like looking at the numbers.
I'm a huge nerd.
And the numbers tell a very specific story for Colin Gillespie, although I will warn you, we are dealing with the smallest of sample sizes so far through 22 games. Producer Evan, you haven't seen these numbers, right? You haven't seen these numbers that I'm about to share with you?
I have not, no.
Do you think Colin Gillespie better as a starter or as a reserve coming off the bench?
If I had to guess, I think he's been better off the bench.
Better off the bench. He's played 19 games off the bench, so a larger sample size. He's played 3 as a starter.
Okay, so now I think he's better as a starter.
I'm just saying that this is the sample sizes we're talking about. I'm not trying to influence your opinion. As a reserve, in the 19 games, he's played 25.7 minutes a night, 11.6 points, 3.9 rebounds, 4.8 assists. That is a perfect 6th, 7th man off the bench, providing you with energy and secondary scoring, leading that second unit. That's everything that you could ask for and then some, right? A great player off the bench. In Colin Gillespie's 3 games as a starter this season, his minutes go up to 33.7, and with that, he averages 24.3 points, he averages 3.3 total rebounds, and he averages 6 assists. His rebounds go down a little bit, but nearly more than doubles his point total and adds about an assist and a half per game. Now, I will tell you, his offensive rating, a 127 as a starter, 123 as a reserve, so still providing offensive value. But as a defender, he goes from a 116 offensive rating as a reserve to a 111 offensive rating as a starter. Better offensively as a starter, a little weaker defensively. Again, a great overall player. His true shooting percentage, nearly 73% as a starter. It's 58% nearly as a reserve. It is short sample size theater. We have to be careful with this. But a 3-game sample size tells us Colin Gillespie is providing way more to this team as a starter. And I wonder, with Jalen Green still out, and now Devin Booker's status up in the air here a little bit, is this not the perfect time to give him a run here as a starter regularly to see what this looks like? So that if and when Jalen Green comes back at the end of this month or at the beginning of 2026, you know where best Colin Gillespie fits. That if you thrust him into this starter role and it's more like what we've seen in these 3 games and he takes off and it's like lighting a rocket ship and he is just making it hands down, no questions asked, this dude's got to be the starter, then maybe Jalen Green gets put in that role. And that's what our good friend Ben Garcia was mentioning on the podcast, that it might make sense for Jalen Green to be that guy off the bench instead of it being Colin Gillespie. The only way to answer that question is by getting an extended look at this. It is not fair to say Colin Gillespie should be the starter just off of these 3 games. I want to use this time that Jalen Green is out to see what my best configuration is, to see what it looks like if I add more and more and more to Colin Gillespie's plate. So I can't answer the question today, what is the best role for him? I know what the statistics say in a very small sample size. The entire month of December, especially if Devin Booker is out, you can start to answer this question a little bit more confidently by playing him every single night as one of your 5 starters. He's been great. He's been great as a starter. He has been great. But it's 3 games. He's been a revelation for the Suns team. To the surprise of what should be absolutely nobody. When we put this on the soundboard, the alignment, when we talked about that press conference, Colin Gillespie is a player that fits that press conference and that identity to a T. I mean, look at, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but winning matters to a certain extent, and like having a winning culture, playing under, Jay Wright and knowing what it was to win in college. He went to organizations that won early in his career that came here. He knows what it takes to win. Like he has a ring. He knows what winning locker rooms look like. And as he continues to grow older and become a veteran in this league, that matters. Whether he's your star player or your 7th guy off the bench, it doesn't matter because he is winning experience and he knows what a locker room that wins looks like. In his rookie season, he played in 24 games with the Nuggets, averaged 3.6 points, played about 9 minutes a night. Last year with Phoenix, got into 33 games, started 9 of them, played about 14 minutes a night, averaged nearly 6 points a game. So far this year, he's played in 22 games. That leads the league, by the way. He's played in every game the Suns have played in this season. He's started, like we mentioned, just the 3 of them. His minutes are up to 26.8 a night, and he's averaging 13.4 points. He's averaging 5 assists and 3.8 rebounds. He's getting better every single year with the more opportunity you're giving him. More starts, more games played, more opportunity, more minutes. He is making the most of it. And Michael said the thing over on YouTube that is the bottom line, I think, sales pitch for the Suns this season. He says, I've been so happy to watch the Suns this year after the nightmare last year, win or lose. It is that simple. The Suns are a more enjoyable watch, win or lose, than they were last year. And it is in part due to performances like Colin Gillespie, because now you're expecting him to pop off. You're expecting him to be a difference maker. You're expecting him to knock down that big shot. You're expecting him to make that great pass because he's showing it to you time and time again that he has the ability to do so. So for me, I can't answer today if he should be the permanent starter at point guard. I certainly think the way he's playing so far warrants an extended run. And if there is a silver lining to potentially being without Devin Booker and Jalen Green, is it is going to provide the perfect opportunity to see what that looks like so that when everybody is back and healthy, Jordan Knott knows exactly how to deploy these guys, knows exactly how to use them. He scored 28 points the other night against the Lakers as a starter. Was 10 of 19 from the field. Had 5 assists. He scored 20-plus points in 3 of the last 4 games. And oh, by the way, those 3 games in which that happened, he started all 3. Against Sacramento, against Oklahoma City, and then against the Lakers on Monday night. And then you start to wonder, if you put him in this role, you put more on his plate. It's Thanksgiving. He's coming back for a second serving. You're just piling it on to the point where you think the plate's going to fold apart. And he thrives. Not only are you talking about installing him as your permanent point guard, but are you not talking about extending Colin Gillespie and making him a centerpiece of this team moving forward? No, I think we're very early on in that journey. I think it's the early minutes of the first quarter of that journey. But how is that not on the table? And this is where this team is so different than last year. Last year, games like this could happen, and I would be worried that Coach Bud wouldn't capitalize on them. This year, I don't worry for a second about Jordan Ott ignoring what Colin Gillespie is doing so far through these first 22 games. I don't worry trying to find his young core, seeing a player like Colin Gillespie do everything right and him saying, yeah, you know what? You're just going to go sit on the bench again. Yeah, I know you had a great performance. You helped us win in Denver, but yeah, you're going to go back to playing, 9-10 minutes a night. You're not going to be a starter. That was the fault of Coach Bud. He did not capitalize on opportunities that were there to try to improve this team. I don't worry about that with Jordan Howard. So a little subplot moving on here, because they're going to play on Friday. They're going to play on Monday. They're going to play again early next week against Oklahoma City on the 10th. And it feels like because of the injuries, because of where this team is at right now, Colin Gillespie is going to get an opportunity to continue to show he's the guy that has been a better offensive player as a starter to the tune of nearly doubling his point output in only 8 more minutes a night, and being a little bit worse defender, but still a great defender with a 111 defensive rating compared to a 116 defensive rating off the bench. Your leader of the second unit needs to be somebody who provides energy, provides a spark, can provide scoring. The Suns are potentially in a spot here in a couple of weeks where they have not one but 2 guys that can fit that role. Colin Gillespie and Jalen Green. They have 2 guys that can fit that role as the leader of the second unit coming off the bench, providing that scoring when you put Devin Booker on the sideline, that can keep the energy levels high, can keep the momentum rolling. They might have 2 players that can fit that role. How many players did they have that could fit that role last year and that were given the opportunity to do so? I can tell you what the answer is. The answer is 0. So this has been a fantastic start to the year. I want to see more of what we've seen, at least in 3 of the last 4 games. Start this kid. Give him every chance to capitalize on what has been 3 really great games as a starter. 20-plus points in all 3 of those games. And honestly, this season is about building confidence in these young players. You got to feed the confidence of somebody like Colin Gillespie. So I hope to see him in the starting lineup on Friday. I hope to see a continuation of what we saw on Monday in L.A. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it is a top 5 list here on a Wednesday. Candidates to replace Jonathan Gannon. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Florence and the Machine presents the Everybody Scream Tour. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Saturday, May 9th. The incomparable Florence and the Machine returns. With special guest, Mannequin Pussy. On sale now at livenation.com. The new album, Everybody Scream, available now.
Everybody Scream.
Right now at Del Taco, you can get 2 grilled chicken tacos for just $3. You hear that? That's the real sizzle of a real grill. At Del Taco, we freshly grill our marinated chicken right here in our kitchens. Not some factory far, far away. It's what makes our grilled chicken tacos a top seller for over 30 years. So come get 2 grilled chicken tacos, made to order for only $3. A real good deal we can all use right now. Only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah.
Price and participation may vary.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Mike Rowe here with a name everyone should know, Groundworks. The foundation and crawl space repair experts are coming soon to Phoenix. So if you've got a musty crawl space or cracks in your walls, these are the guys to call. And right now, Groundworks is hiring for all positions. If you're looking for a career, Groundworks is the place to do it. You can go from installer to foreman in under a year and become an owner of the company you work for. Apply now at groundworks.com/careers.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
For nearly 25 years, Primavera has helped thousands of Arizona students succeed with an accredited world-class education, tuition-free and from home. Don't wait. Enroll today at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Penn State may want to call it due diligence, but the diligent approach is starting to hurt the program. In a loaded Big Ten that demands urgency, the Nittany Lions are drifting through their coaching search at the worst possible time. Today is National Signing Day, and while programs across the country are celebrating, Penn State is standing in the corner with an empty plate. James Franklin's departure was already damaging. His arrival at Virginia Tech turned into a recruiting raid, with several former commits following him to Blacksburg. The result, a staggering picture. Penn State enters signing day with just 4 recruits, a class ranked between Montana State, Missouri State, and Akron. For a program that prides itself on tradition and relevance, it's not a blip. That's a major concern. The timing of the coaching carousel makes chaos inevitable. Penn State is lost in the fog, and the hit they take this cycle could come back to bite them for years to come. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
This holiday season, skip the same old gifts and send something that's truly unforgettable. From Heartland Steak Company, we're talking premium, hand-cut Midwestern meats such as USDA Prime and Choice Beef, all-natural pork, and tender chicken, all delivered straight to their door with care and convenience. Whether you're shopping for family, friends, clients, or anyone who appreciates bold flavor and quality meats, Heartland Steak Co. has something for everyone. Choose from Grill Master packages, holiday gift boxes, or freezer fillers, each one hand-picked, flash frozen, and packed to preserve unbeatable freshness and taste. It's the perfect way to share the true Midwest flavor this season. Ordering is quick and easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And when you order right now and spend $199.99 or more, you'll receive free shipping plus $25 off your order with promo code GIFT. Give the gift of flavor this holiday season with Heartland Steak Co. That's heartlandsteakco.com. And don't forget to use promo code GIFT. Taste the Heartland difference.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Time for a list. It's Wednesday. It's a tough list to put together. I did narrow it down to 3 HMs, one of which is going to drive the listeners of this program crazy. Already prepared for it. And it's kind of a joking answer because this will never happen, but it's something that does make sense for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it does. And it's on my list as well.
I mean, again, never going to happen, not in a million years, but I believe it deserves a mention. So with that being said, you know what? This is the rare time that the fake list music actually works for the list. Because we're doing football. This is our football power rankings music. Disguised as the list music because I entered it in wrong. And I can't find the old music that I had for the list. Been searching for weeks. Can't find it. Who's going first today?
Do you want to go first or you want me to?
I can go first.
All right, you go first.
I have 3 HMs. I have a college coach and 2 coordinators. One on the offensive side, one on the defense.
You have a college coach?
I do.
I have a college coach on my list.
I don't have Lane Kiffin on my list.
I don't either.
Do you have Marcus Freeman on your list?
I do.
I have Marcus Freeman on my list as well. I will tell you, my father-in-law sent this to me as a name to consider. And and here's why I like this as a consideration. Marcus Freeman took over Notre Dame in a very turbulent time. Brian Kelly just leaves in the middle of the night. Notre Dame's now in a state of disarray. Marcus Freeman comes in. Players love him. They love that he's the new coach. And he immediately just stabilizes things. Isn't that not exactly what the Cardinals could be looking for? A stabilizing force?
Think about what he did with that program, and I'll give it away because we're talking about him. I have him number 5 on my list. He's a tremendous head coach, and where they've been the last 2 years, and from a recruiting standpoint, and obviously that's not important in the NFL, but he's transformed that organization, that brand that Notre Dame had for years, and shifted them into the modern era of college football. And I think you can take that and say, well, he can shift the Cardinals into being productive, into a a modern NFL. And so that's why I had Marcus Freeman on this list. And I think you said it right. Like, he took over in very, very tenuous time in Notre Dame and really kind of brought everything back to pretty even keel.
The only reason why he's an HM and not on my list is there is a risk with doing the college to pro jump for a team that is a very critical time. It's a very critical juncture. Like, if I'm the Giants, I think I'm all over Marcus Freeman. I've got my quarterback. I've got a lot of great young pieces. I now need to get them playing cohesively. Whereas for the Cardinals, there's a lot of disarray. I don't know who my quarterback's going to be next year. I have to completely revamp this offense. I have to change the culture of we get to the fourth quarter and we forget how to play football to, no, we dominate the fourth quarter. So I think the situations are a little different. And so the jump from college to pro is the only thing that worries me. That's why he's an HM. You want my offensive coordinator or my defensive coordinator HM?
I want your defensive coordinator.
It was from the earlier list. I have Jesse Minter as an HM.
So do I.
A probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the sport right now. And I got to tell you, when, again, stabilizing is the word that I would use for the current state of affairs for the Arizona Cardinals. Taking somebody who's worked very closely with Jim Harbaugh off of that tree. When you think of Harbaugh, you think of stabilizing. He went to the Chargers because they were bouncing between Anthony Lynn and Brandon Staley, and they draft Justin Herbert, and they can't get over the hump. They can't get to the postseason. They can't finish the job. Harbaugh comes in, and you don't talk about that stuff anymore. We joke about it here on the program, but the Chargers don't really charge her much anymore. Why? Because they brought somebody in who is, for lack of a better phrase, the adult in the room. And so getting somebody off of that tree who's been with Harbaugh, not just at the pro, but at the college level, is really important. So I have Minter as an HM for that regard.
I also have Minter as an HM. I'll give you one of my other HMs. Another defensive coordinator. It's Jaguars DC, Anthony Campanelli. That defense, opportunistic. They've been taking the ball away.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if they're the stabilizing team that I think the Cardinals need, and that's why I have him as an HM and not on my list. But what he's done with that defense has been nothing short of impressive. I mean, they're in the lead in the division. They just brought in Liam Cohen, who's done a great job over there. But a lot of that has had to do with the defensive success they had, especially early in the year. I like this guy for head coach.
My third HM, offensive coordinator. It's never going to happen. I get it. But to me, he is a fit for where the Cardinals are at. And if they didn't make this mistake previously, this would be the perfect time to bring him in. I've got Cliff Kingsbury on the list as an HM. He is, when looking at candidates to fix this issue, Cliff makes sense.
They would never do it.
They would never do it. And part of the reason why he makes sense is because he's matured, because he went through the failings here, and they're not going to repeat that. But to me, he checks every box you need as a coach. They're not going to do it. That's why he's an HM. But I wanted to mention him because, to me, I said this about Marcus Freeman, but if I'm the Giants, I think my first call is to Cliff Kingsbury. Air raid, former college coordinator, has head coaching experience. With Jaden Daniels, had that success in year one. I think you got to get while the getting's good there in Washington. He can go work with Jackson Dart. I think that's a match made in heaven in the NFC East. I think he's going to get a job. I think he should take a job this offseason.
I do too.
My number 5. This is somebody that the Cardinals interviewed previously. And I believe they interviewed him the same offseason in which they hired Jonathan Gannon. And I know his defenses haven't been great the last couple of years. I don't think it's a scheme problem. I think it is a personnel problem. Give me Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. A couple years ago, hot name because of how good that Bengals defense was. A talent drop-off, didn't replace some of the guys that left in free agency. Now look at the state of his defense. I still think he's a great leader. I still think he's a great defensive mind. Got to get him. Think about Lou Anarumo with this defensive talent. With Walter Nolan and Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson and Budda Baker and Will Johnson and Garrett Williams and Max Melton and all the guys that are on this team right now compared to what he has in Cincinnati. My number 5, Lou Anarumo.
It's a good one. My number 5 was Marcus Freeman, a guy we already talked about. And the initial concern is making that jump up, but same things we talked about for him. The reason he was an HM for you is the reason he's number 5 for me. Stabilizing, has taken over a program kind of in disarray. We've seen how that has done, how he's done there. I would trust him to make his decision with this organization, and that's why I have him at 5.
Number 4 for me. I'm going within the division because I can do this. A promotion cannot be blocked by another team. They can block a lateral move. They can't block a promotion. Go get Clint Kubiak from the Seattle Seahawks, please. What he is doing with Sam Darnold and that offense is nothing short of incredible. I was skeptical of it working there. Darnold was an MVP candidate for the first half of the season. Now they don't even need Darnold to play great. They can run the football. They're creating turnovers. They're scoring points off of turnovers. They're just a great team. And again, there is a skew here of the remaining 4 names, including Clint Kubiak. I've got 3 offensive guys, 1 defensive guy. There is a skew towards you're bringing in a young quarterback or at least a new quarterback next year. You want somebody with experience in doing that. Guess what? 2 of the 3 names on my list have experience with that. Clint Kubiak for me at number 4. I know he's going to be higher on your list. He might be number 1 on your list, would be my guess.
My number 4, Jim Schwartz.
You put him on the list.
A defensive coordinator with head coach experience, a guy that we've seen take the right steps. And if I'm going to go defensive, I'm going to go with a guy who has defense or head coach experience that I think would bring in the right OC. I know Jim Schwartz would bring in an offensive coordinator he has worked with before that has experience in this league. And for me, if I was going to go defensive, I think I would go with Jim Schwartz.
I have somebody who fits that entire description, but is a better overall coach. He's coming up at number 2. My number 3, how about we bring somebody home? How about we bring somebody that this team is severely missing right now? How about we bring back somebody who is the offensive coordinator for one of the best offenses in football? Go get Clayton Adams from the Dallas Cowboys and bring him home and make him the head coach. The offensive line coach here in Arizona, he gets poached by the Dallas Cowboys to run that offense. That offense has looked very, very good this season, towards the top of the league in whatever metric you want to look at. There's ties here, so you feel probably a little more comfortable if you're Michael Bidwell bringing somebody in like that because you have that familiar tie with him. I got Clayton Adams at number 3. Again, another offensive-minded guy.
My number 3, Joe Brady. I think there's some concerns.
Hot take. Joe Brady, not on my list.
I don't think that's hot at all. And he is so high around the league that at some point I think I'm wrong. So that's why I kind of put him on my list. But
you sound like the college football playoff.
Yeah, that's how I do a lot of my lists.
That's how Evans Risers work on Thursdays.
Yeah. Joe Brady has run offenses in the league. He's ran the greatest offense that's ever touched a football field. Now, they had a lot of talent, but they were the best offense that ever graced the football field. And now we're seeing it with Buffalo because when he took over, he did rejuvenate that offense.
Yes.
And I think now it's getting a little bit more predictable. But is that because of him? Or is that because that roster, outside of Josh Allen and outside of James Cook, is extremely flawed? They drafted Keon Coleman. He can't really play. Khalil Shakir, he's a nice player. He can't be your number 1. They just brought in Brandon Cooks. Gabe Davis they brought back. They don't have a receiver that scares you. And they can run the ball well with offensive line injuries. I don't know how much of it falls on Joe Brady or how much of it falls on the talent they have on the roster.
My number 2. Do you mind doing a little rewind here and give me your breakdown of Jim Schwartz?
Yeah, Jim Schwartz. He's a guy who has been a very successful defensive coordinator in this league with head coaching experience that I think would bring in the right offensive coordinator with a ton of experience to run a young quarterback.
What if I could tell you, you could get that, but also somebody who has a couple Lombardi trophies in his trophy case? Go get Steve Spagnuolo from the Kansas City Chiefs, defensive coordinator. You're rolling your eyes at me.
Yeah, I am.
Has won multiple Super Bowls, 2 different franchises, overseeing some elite-level defenders. I do not worry about his ability to get an offensive coordinator. He's been around the league forever, has those connections. And brings that toughness to the defensive side of the ball.
The thing with Spags for me, though, is he has been, Jim Schwartz.
Doesn't have the Super Bowl hardware that Spags does.
He does have a ring.
Doesn't have the numerous rings that Spags does.
Right.
What is it, 4 5 for Spags?
Yeah, I think it's 4.
2 with the Giants and 2 with the Chiefs, or 3 with the Chiefs? I mean, I'll look it up.
I'll look it up. Look it up.
You talk. I can look things up.
Spags has worked under some of the greatest coaches in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's a pro and also a knock.
4-time Super Bowl champion.
It's a pro and a knock. And so for me, when I look at a guy like Jim Schwartz, the teams he's played for, the teams he's coached for have won because of his defense. And that's not always true. Like the Eagles, they got really hot in the NFC Championship and in the Super Bowl, but they don't get there without how the defense played against Atlanta.
Oh, he only won 1 with the Giants, 3 with the Chiefs. He wasn't there for the second
one.
He's coached in 7 Super Bowls, 6 as a defensive coordinator. The only coordinator in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with 2 different franchises, and the only one to win 4 Super Bowls in that role. I mean, that's hardware that you just can't replace. So I have him at number 2. Your number 2?
My number
John
2.
Gruden,
Sorry,
number
I was
2.
John Gruden.
Yeah, John Gruden number 2, and then I'm gonna guess who did I say? Or Clint Kubiak's gonna be number 1.
There it is.
Yeah,
that's the top of my list.
Now, Matt over on the YouTube said Kevin Patullo as the number 1 for you. I don't think that's gonna make the list. Be careful. You can't say anything. This is a family-friendly show.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Just making sure.
I didn't say anything.
All right, so go ahead. Talk to me about Gruden number 2 and
John Gruden. They're looking for somebody just to give him the chance in the league again. And this is a guy who there's no doubt about it. When you're talking about young quarterbacks across the history of the NFL, look at John Gruden. He's under Holmgren in Green Bay. They bring in Brett Favre, who, let's face it, wasn't Brett Favre out of the draft, wasn't Brett Favre when he had gotten to Green Bay. They make him there. He goes to Philadelphia. They bring in Randall Cunningham. He turns Randall Cunningham into one of the league's best quarterbacks. Then he gets the head coaching opportunity. Rich Gannon was a cast out. Goes to Oakland, wins the MVP, wins a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson, has the most success with Derek Carr, and I mean this outside of this. Derek Carr is honestly a terrible quarterback outside of the years with John Gruden.
What a bad take by you.
And so
what
then
an awful take by you.
They had great success
You're gonna hear it from somebody today.
with Derek Carr, and he can call me. He can pick up the phone.
He's listening right now. You are getting a phone call after the program.
He can call me. Without John Gruden there, they don't have the success they do. Think about where that organization has gone since he's left. It's been a train wreck. A train wreck.
I agree. I think Gruden should get another shot. I just wouldn't put him number 2 on the list for the Cardinals.
For a young quarterback and for a team that's going to go through changes, he feels like the perfect guy.
You ready for my number 1?
You're number 1.
He's not on your list at all. You didn't even have him as an HM, and I think you're going to feel a little foolish when I tell you who it is. Go get Todd Monken to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
I to be honest with you, I loved it. And recency bias, the offense looks so bad right now.
I know, but Lamar's hurt, and it's not a fair representation of Todd Monken's skills because it was just a couple of weeks ago he pulled out that trick play with Mark Andrews, okay? But you're not getting that creativity from Drew Petzing.
No,
Let me tell you that right now.
And by the way, I'm the biggest Monken fan. I huge fan.
To me, what makes him a draw for me is not only how he had to kind of reinvent his offense with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, but he came from Georgia, right? Came from the college ranks where you get somebody in at the quarterback position and you have to develop them. The Cardinals are going to be, hopefully, if things go well, they're going to be drafting somebody in this year's draft to build around. Don't you want somebody who has been through that development process at the college ranks to be your offensive-minded guy and also your head coach to guide you through that time period? So, to me, Todd Monken, number 1. All right, tell me about Clint Kubiak.
Well, real quick, 4? I got a question for you.
Please.
Did that Mark Andrews play kind of look a little Army football-esque?
It did.
It did.
It did.
Where his cousin Jeff Monken is the head coach.
It had a very triple option. We don't have a quarterback we trust to throw look, even though they have Lamar Jackson. Yes, that was very Army triple option-esque.
My number 1 is Clint Kubiak. I think you're in a spot where not only are you picking a young quarterback to learn a new system, where we've seen Sam Darnold come into a system and be very efficient. But this is also a make or break year for your young receiver. And to see what Clint Kubiak has done for Jackson Smith and Jigba this year is unfathomable in the way they scheme him open. And I know I'm the biggest Jackson Smith and Jigba fan. I want to say this. I know he's probably the best receiver in football stat-wise this year. He's not the best receiver in football, but they scheme him open so effectively, and they find ways to get their best football player the ball when they need it most. That's what this team has failed to do for years. They spent a number 4 overall pick on a receiver and paid a tight end like the best tight end in football. And a guy like Clint Kubiak would make sure that those guys get the ball, game on the line, and would scheme them open. And for me, that's why Clint Kubiak's the number 1 option for this head coach.
My HMs, Cliff Kingsbury, Jesse Minter, Marcus Freeman. My top 5, Lou Anarumo, Clint Kubiak, Clayton Adams, Steve Spagnuolo, and Todd Monken.
My HMs, Cliff Kingsbury, Jesse Minter, Anthony Capinelli, Marcus Freeman at number 5, Jim Schwartz at 4, Joe Brady at 3, John Gruden at 2, Clint Kubiak at 1.
There you have it, our lists of candidates to replace Jonathan Gannon if the Cardinals choose to move on at the end of the season. You want to tear our list to shreds, you want to add a name to that list, the phone number 480-864-1060, the way for you to join us. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel and watch the show over there as well. And you can listen to us on the KDUS AM 1060 app. When we come back, yesterday we talked about Josh Sweat's first year as an Arizona Cardinal. Let's talk about a rookie and what he has done so far this season. That's next. The Lunch Break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think the average 26 years old.
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan team, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit frysfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds, because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be.
The place to come when you want to have too much fun.
Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun.
The place to come when you want to have too much
Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
$50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey, what's up? What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account. And you're all going to live together at America First.
What?
This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
How good of a season has it been for Walter Nolan? First overall draft pick, or the first round draft pick, I should say, of the Arizona Cardinals, who missed a bunch of time at the beginning of the season and has, 8 total tackles in 4 games, has a sack in his 4 games, and has a fumble recovery in his 4 games. Well, good enough to be listed as a honorable mention on a story on ESPN.com looking at the top 10 NFL rookies so far in 2025, listed as a just missed, along with Jahad Campbell, Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker, among a few. And he got at least top 15 votes from the writers that were a part of this. The other names on the list, number 10 was Will Campbell, number 9, Colston Loveland of the Bears, Quinshawn Judkins, running back for the Browns at number 8, Gray Zabel, the guard for the Seahawks at number 7, Jackson Dart at number 6, Armand Membu, the offensive tackle for the Jets at number 5, Tyler Warren at number 4, Emeka Egbuka, number 3, Tedero McMillan, number 2, and Carson Schlesinger, the linebacker for the Browns, at number 1. I think it is very impressive that a rookie can play in just 4 games at a position that Walter Nolan plays. This isn't a quarterback like Jackson Dart, who's only played in a handful of games. This isn't a wide receiver or a running back that can pop off in 1 or 2 games, and that is enough to kind of lift up your entire numbers. This is a defensive lineman who in 4 games has 8 tackles, has picked up 1 sack, forced a fumble. He recovered that fumble for a touchdown as well, right, in his first game?
Yes, he did.
He's done enough in 4 games to warrant being on this list of one of the best rookies, one of the top 10 rookies in 2025. So unlike the conversation we were having this time last year about Darius Robinson, basically the complete 180. Walter Nolan is having the impact that we were hoping Darius Robinson could have in his rookie campaign, but then the injury derailed. We thought that's how this year was going to go, and Walter Nolan followed the same script. Walter Nolan's changing the ending. Walter Nolan changing how this story is going to finish, because he is producing to the level of the Cardinals need him on the field. Now, I believe he wasn't at practice today in the available portion of practice that the media was paying attention to. So that's something that is alarming. I will check again here if that is exactly what I read on social media. Trying to read social media while I'm on the air talking, bad recipe.
It's a bad recipe. So here's my thing with Walter Nolan.
Oh, don't be a negative Nancy, please.
Oh, no, this is a really good thing.
Okay.
The minute he stepped on the field, I'm a half into his career. It was like, oh, they might have a guy. Like a half into the Cowboys game, it was like, ooh.
Wait a second.
They might have a guy. And that was the first half of football he played at this level.
With missing an entire training camp and preseason and the beginning of the season.
And so
basically cold turkey walked onto the field.
I
and was an instant
understand
impact.
Why he isn't on the list, because you can't. He's only played 4 games. You can't put him on the list. I don't think that would be fair to the other guys on the list.
But think about what it says is that he's getting enough respect to even be mentioned and only playing in 4 games.
And that's, Jalen Walker, right? You put him above him. Walker has 5 sacks, 2 forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He's been a nice player for Atlanta. I'm taking Walter Nolan 100 times out of 100. The 4th pick of the draft. Or sorry, wasn't Abdul Carter 2?
3.
3?
3? 2? 3 Will Campbell? Or 4 was Will Campbell?
4 was Will Campbell.
Cam Ward was 1. Yeah, 2 was the Travis Hunter swap. So 3 was Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter was the 3rd pick of the draft. They have him listed below Walter Nolan.
And we know it's not in alphabetical order because A comes before W. And
exactly.
Carter comes before Nolan in the alphabet.
So you know it's not alphabetical order.
It's not alphabetical that they rated Walter Nolan higher. Now, he wasn't at practice today. Neither was Marvin Harrison Jr., neither was Greg Dortch, neither was Max Melton. So an injury list that's not great for the Arizona Cardinals ahead of their game this upcoming Sunday. And not having Marvin Harrison Jr. and not having Walter Nolan are key losses on both sides of the ball. So keep an eye on that, and we'll keep you updated here on the show as we get through the week. But very impressive, the 4 games that Walter Nolan has played. And it's frustrating that he's going to miss some time with this knee, that he can't continue to capitalize on what has been a very impactful 4 games. That's what gets – so with Darius Robinson, you viewed that first year as a redshirt year, and it was basically a wash. I don't view that for Walter Nolan. If he's able to finish this year and end on a good note, he has the building blocks. He has the foundation that I don't think Darius Robinson had to have a big year 2. Whereas Darius Robinson, it took a little bit here in year 2. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, we wrap up today's edition of the show. All the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. It's the leftovers. We'll do them next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
ASU women's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lady Sun Devils as they look to defend Mullet Arena against McNeese State. With Coach Molly Miller at the helm, the Lady Sun Devils have come alive this season. Join Jeff Munn on the call live this Friday night. It's ASU versus McNeese State. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUS1060.com, and on the KDUS 1060 app.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. In this holiday season, I want to give back. So for every home I buy, I'll donate $1,000 to St. Jude. By now, you already know I'll buy your house for cash in any condition, and I'll beat any other offer. And now by selling me your house, you can help out a family at St. Jude. So let's get your home sold quickly. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
NAU men's basketball over on KAZG 1440. Join the Lumberjacks as they play host to South Dakota State this Wednesday night. Under the direction of Coach Shane Burkar, the Lumberjacks have shown strength and resilience on the court. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live from the Roll Activities Center. It's NAU versus South Dakota State this Wednesday. Pregame at 5:30 and tip-off at 6 p.m. over on KAZG 1440.
What are we throwing into the blender for the leftovers today, producer Evan? It is National Signing Day in college football. If I was reading Twitter correctly. Earlier.
You are reading Twitter
Huge
correctly.
flip for ASU. They got the number one JUCO.
I was just
tackle.
That's what I was leading with.
Sorry, I saw
4-star
this
tackle. They got him to flip from Georgia.
Take that, Kirby Smart. Kenny Dillingham doesn't need to go to an SEC school. He'll just go in your backyard and steal your recruits.
Take that.
Take that.
And Penn's bang, bang, bang.
Take that, Kirby Smart.
Have you been seeing the Penn State stuff? Actually, Dan Patrick hinted at it.
In fact, that they're getting no players to recruit.
They are getting
program?
no players. So,
and by the way, I just want to make something very clear to be in the interest of fairness. This is why LSU
did what they did.
Would not allow Lane Kiffin to coach in the playoff. They wanted to get him on board right away.
Because Penn State is currently 144th in the country with only 3 commits.
They are going to ask you and I if we have eligibility left at some point.
The teams ranked above them in recruiting. Army at 143, Columbia at 142, and Montana State at 141.
When you think of college football recruiting, you know what you think of? Columbia.
I mean, that is atrociously bad. And in today's world of college football, you can't take the Penn State approach, which is this lackadaisical, maybe not lackadaisical, but very long, extended coaching search. They fired Franklin weeks ago.
The reason why you fire him in the middle of the season is so that you can get a jump on this.
I don't know what they're doing.
Can you breaking news sounder, please? I need the breaking news sounder. Major breaking news in baseball. Massive. Going to change everything. Matthew Boyd is going to play for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. It was just announced over on the Foul Territory show. Matthew Boyd, put him on the roster for Team USA.
What did Matthew Boyd post this year?
Your thought was exactly my thought. I saw Matthew Boyd's name and I'm like, did he have a good year last year? Should I be excited about him being a member of this rotation? I don't know if I should be excited.
In 2025, Matthew Boyd, 3-2-1.
Oh, you know what? Sign him up.
Back in. Play it again.
Great move. Great move, DeRosa. Get him signed up.
Matthew Boyd gonna play for Team USA.
Now they have Paul Skeens, who's gonna be their ace.
Yes.
I think Boyd is probably like the 3rd or 4th starter, I would assume.
You know who they should bring in?
Okay.
Tarek Skubal. That would be a good idea.
I need to look at
Could you imagine that? Nobody beats the United States if they go Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal.
Well, right now, according to the official USA Baseball website that is loading, they have Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Paul Skeens, Bobby Witt.
I thought Bryce Harper joined officially.
I'm telling you right now.
No, I believe you.
He's not on the official
Read me
roster.
that outfield.
Sure. It's going to be Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Aaron Judge.
Nothing's hitting the ground.
Although I think Judge will DH.
Nothing is hitting the ground.
We need a left fielder because Corbin will play right. Pete Crow will play center. You need somebody to play left.
I think, and hear me out on this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
You now could go really big power bat in left. If you're going to DH Judge, could you sneak Schwarber's bat into the lineup in left? Only because you have Pete Crow out there in center.
No, I don't think I want to do that. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think I want to do that.
But at least Schwarber he had the most success against Team Japan a couple of years ago.
Let me look. And I think there's a world where he's on the team again. But
he will be on the team again. My question is, who could you start in left? I think you might have to play.
Could you start Cody Bellinger in left?
Yeah, you could.
Could you start Wyatt Langford in left?
I don't really know if I want Langford out there as a starter. I think I would rather have Bellinger.
What about?
So and then let's go to the infield. You're going to start Bobby Witt Jr. at short.
What about James Wood?
Oh, I would play James Wood.
James Wood in the outfield for that power?
I would love that power bat.
First base.
You could run Bellinger at first.
Could run Belly at first. You could have Pete Alonso. You could have Matt Olson. You could have Freddie Freeman. You could put Harper.
Freeman's played for Canada for the last
That's
few
right,
years.
because he is Canadian. So that would be, sorry, my apologies.
At second
base.
Where things get a tad challenging.
I have to find an American second baseman.
Do you think you could take one of the shortstops to play second?
You could. Where's Brendan Donovan
Tim
from?
Anderson played second the last time.
Where's Brendan Donovan from? Can I get a search on Brendan Donovan, please? I don't know, because some of these guys might be Canadian.
Brandon Donovan is from, let me tell you here. I'm going to have to search Brandon Donovan from now.
If you just look up his Wikipedia
He's from
page.
Germany.
So he's out?
He's out.
I don't know who's playing second base. I know Matthew Boyd's going to be in the rotation, though. That's going to do it for us here. Wednesday edition, that's the day. Yeah, Wednesday edition of the show in the books. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.